it's a nice cool morning for the middle of June. Don't know what this weather wants to do. Hey, y'all, come on in. I'm glad you're here this morning. Have a seat. We'll sit a spell, maybe tell a story or two. Glad to see you. This morning I thought I might take you back a little ways. I've told you the story if you look back in the videos we made. I told you the story about how we ended up here on the hill. Now let me tell you how Laura roped me into becoming a potter. Now I'd already done several things, and I was reaching the end of my state patrol career. This was about 1994. I was going to retire in about 3 or 4 years. And basically, I didn't really have any hobbies or anything, nothing I was really into. About all I did when I wasn't working for the state was sit around, watch sports on TV, and play a little golf. And one thing Laura and I did do is we both loved going to arts and craft fairs and seeing anybody that made things by hand. It didn't matter if it was a blacksmith, a jeweler, a glass blower, a potter, whatever. We'd travel around. We like to travel, so we'd travel around the country and we'd find a fair somewhere or just a village that had a lot of artists and things in it. But anyway, we'd go to craft fairs, and Laura could park me anywhere somebody was doing something with their hands. I've sat for hours and watched candle makers and carvers. I've sat and watched potters, glass makers, doing beadwork and things. So she could take me, park me at somebody making something, and I would be stuck there for hours. I was there, and she'd go on and shop and wouldn't be bothered with me. So about 1994 it was, I believe. I'd had my run in Atlanta, being part of the Bigwig Association down at headquarters and being on the commander's staff. And I was back out in the field just being a regular trooper, which is what I loved from day one anyway. The day they hired me to be a trooper and sent me through patrol school was the happiest day of my life, and always has been. So anyway, I was off for a few weeks on a detail. We'd had this tremendous flood that had locked up the interstates. I mean, there were several interstates. Interstate 75 was closed, 16 was closed, 10 was underwater, not here in Georgia, but down through, out through Alabama and that way. Anyway, we had a tremendous flood back then, so we had to keep people from driving off in these places and getting swept away, which during that particular flood we had a few happen. Well, anyway, I came back from the flood. I walked through the door at the house, and Laura, after we finished saying hey and hi again, she said, "Look over on the refrigerator." Well, I looked over on the refrigerator, and there was a full-page ad about pottery classes at a place called Warner Park up in Chattanooga. And if you don't know anything about it, look it up on Google. It's probably still, I'm thinking it's still there, so you can find it. But anyway, classes 3 nights a week, 3 hours a night for 3 weeks. And I gave my usual smart aleck remark, "Well, that sounds like fun." And Laura come back, "Well, good, you start Monday." Well, she'd already been to my sergeant at the patrol station and had it arranged with him that I could be sure and work shifts or have days off that I could attend the classes. So I attended the classes with a potter named Bob Fazio. Now, Bob was a good potter. He was an educator. He was the art instructor at a place called Baylor School, a private school in Chattanooga. And he had studied under a fellow named, internationally known potter named Charles Counts. At the time, Counts was still alive. He just run off to Africa and wrote a few books, and he had been the art instructor at the University of Chattanooga back when it was UC instead of UTC. It was a small university, but he was internationally known, owned a pottery up on Lookout Mountain named Plum Nelly. They had a festival up there and named it after that. But anyway, so I took the class from Bob, got the bug for making pots, and I figured I would like it because I like to do things with my hands. It could have been something like jewelry making. I'd have still loved it. Who knows, might have ended up being a jeweler. But I didn't. It was pottery, and I fell in love with it the first time clay ran through my fingers on the wheel head. I just couldn't get enough of it. So before the class was over, I had already bought me a wheel. I had bought me a second-hand kiln, and I had taken over. We lived in a house that had 2 levels on it with bedrooms up and downstairs, and had 2 kitchens, 2 full kitchens. So I basically took one kitchen away from Laura and turned it into my studio. She didn't mind because she cooked in the kitchen upstairs and I had the downstairs, and I was making pots and I was happy. So that's how I ended up being a potter after I retired. Didn't plan it, didn't study for it, never went to school, never took an art class in my life. Just loved art and then loved building things, and found out as I began, of course, I dove into pottery, not just now, but I dove into the history of it. Ended up studying with a couple of more potters, a fella down in Florida named Stephen Jepson. I subscribed to a magazine called Ceramics Monthly and one called Clay Times, and I found he was advertising in there about teaching classes. And so I went down to Florida, signed up for a 2-week class. Laura and I took our motor home, went down to Florida and stayed there. A couple of years later, went over to, after I got out of the State Patrol and retired from that, went to England, studied under an internationally known potter named Seth Cardew. Spent a week at his studio, immersed myself in it, got a lot more history, visited some places, visited a place called St. Ives where a potter named Bernard Leach had built a pottery, and he's credited with being the father of studio pottery. So all you potters that are making stuff and selling stuff, and you make it in a small studio or you make it at home, he's kind of the guy that opened up pottery making for you to sell your stuff and how to do it. He wrote several books on pottery, made a lot of films. If you look him up, you'll find that not only he's had books written about him, stories told about him. He wrote several books. If you say he actually wrote the book on studio pottery, that's him. He did. So we visited there, met the resident potter who still keeps it going. So Laura and I got a pretty good education. I was the potter, but she was right there beside me every step of the way, learning just as much as I did and probably more. But anyway, that's how we came here and established the pottery, and like I said, been doing it since. So we've been making pots for over 30 years now. I've got you. I think you may have met Jalen. She's a resident engineer, photographer, and editor of all these videos that y'all get to look at. Plus, she's also apprenticing here with me in my studio. She kind of keeps it going. She does most of the grunt work that I'm finding a little tedious in my old age to do. And she's a very accomplished potter, and we're glad to have her, and I'm glad to have her to keep the pottery going. So anyway, let's close for today. Thank y'all for coming. I hope you liked the stories. Look back at Something Southern. If you've missed any of them, you can go back, view them there. We've got a bunch of pottery videos. We also have an online store. We sell pottery. We don't mind if you buy something, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Come on, visit anyway. Look around. You might see something that interests you. I'll look to see y'all back next week. Bring a friend. For now, this is Fred Ellis of Something Southern Pottery and Stories on the Hill, saying goodbye for now.